one of the next thing on that list up there is I definitely want to get on video, but I want to talk to you guys about is healthy fat and cholesterol. If you've been here long enough, we've talked about this, so it should be a reminder. But if you haven't been here before for too long, it might be new to you. So as I talk about it, definitely hear all the parts, but hear the big picture too. So remember what I said, hear all the pieces and put it all together. So consuming healthy fats, does it generally raise or lower your cholesterol? Yes, it generally raises your cholesterol. Okay? Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And much more. Yes. Generally, so if the source of your raised cholesterol is truly healthy fats, it is a good thing. Okay? So especially Cecile, seriously, eating healthy fats, does it generate lower or raise your LDL? Which has been named and tagged lethal or bad cholesterol, and there's some truth to that. Nope, eating healthy fats generally raises your LDL. Now hear this out. Is that good or bad? It's good. Yes, and again, hear all the pieces, but then put it all together too. So, yes, eating healthy fats generally raises your LDL, which we've tagged as bad cholesterol, but it's a good thing, and there is some truth to that LDL being bad cholesterol. And I'll elaborate on that as I keep you guys going. Eating lots of carbs, especially processed carbs, does what to your cholesterol? Raises it. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Bad thing. Eating lots of carbs, especially processed carbs, raises your LDL as well. And guess what? That's a bad thing as well. Even keeping all that in mind, there are many times when people add healthy carbs. I'm sorry, let me say that right. There are many times when people add healthy fats to their diet where their cholesterol and LDL go down. But why is that? Because they often also take out the carbs. Does cholesterol have any correlation to health or heart disease? Cholesterol, and I'll break it down too. And your total cholesterol number, does it have any correlation to health or heart disease? Yeah, I'm sure most people are going to tell you it does. I would say everything I've seen, it absolutely does not. What do I mean by that? It's something to think about. And as I say this, if you have any kind of high cholesterol numbers, however you break it down, I'm not saying ignore them, I'm saying understand them. Okay? So, just as many people that have heart attacks and strokes have low cholesterol as they do high cholesterol. Just as many people that are the longest living, healthiest people on the planet have low cholesterol and high cholesterol. You know what's very common among the most healthy, longest living people on the planet? High cholesterol. But again, so, I mean, if you really, I mean, logically, just saying that alone, the longest living healthy people on the planet often have high cholesterol. Is it really the high cholesterol that's the problem? No. Now, as they say, the devil's in the details. So high cholesterol, high LDL in itself is not the problem. We'll get to it as I keep you busy. Now, Michelle kind of said it, but when you go to your doctor, if you are most of your doctors going to have this information? No, most of your doctors are not. Why? And I wouldn't blame the doctors, and I wouldn't expect the doctors. I think it's healthy to not expect the doctors to have that information, because literally, where did they get most of their education from? Their original education and their continuing education. Where does it mostly come from? The pharmaceutical industry. Yeah, literally. I mean, if you really look at it, it's not some conspiracy theory. When you really look at it, the pharmaceutical industry puts together most of their med school information and most of their ongoing education, which is a slight conflict of interest. Yeah, so what's typical in the medical community is you go and they say your cholesterol is over 200, and many doctors will right from there will go, here's your prescription for statins. Some are a little better and we'll go, okay, let's look at your HDL and okay, and your LDL, and okay, your LDL is high, it's over 100, here's your prescription for statins. Most do not go much further than that. Again, where is the problem as far as specifically the breakdown of LDL? LDL is many different things. Some particles in LDL are bad, some are good. So it's really the breakdown of the LDL. And again, to have this conversation with your doctor, you're probably going to have to educate your doctor, or respectfully educate your doctor, or find another doctor, honestly, that is educated on that. So my advice would be to read the notes in the files in User-Friendly Fitness. There's notes from the cholesterol myth. And it's not just from the cholesterol myth, it's from a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of good reports and studies that back that up. And so having that information to go to your doctor and say, okay, if my LDL is over 100, can I get the next test, which is a breakdown of LDL, to see if it's really a problem. And even if it was a problem, the answer I don't think is statins. I don't believe anybody should be on statins, with extremely rare exceptions. I would say the answer is, yeah, really change your diet. So, and a lot of doctors, as much as they say, hey, change your diet, well, a lot of doctors and a lot of people say, like, well, changing your diet's really not going to, the odds of changing your diet aren't really going to do much. And I would agree if you're the average person going to the average doctor. Because what's the average person really going to do about changing their diet? Little to nothing. So when the average person does little to nothing, it really doesn't make much of an effect. But when you truly change your diet for the better and change your movement for the better, yeah, you can definitely see those numbers go in the right direction. And that may not be low cholesterol, and it may not be low LDL. It might be, yes, your LDL breakdown is healthy. Besides the cholesterol myth, there was a really good article and video out on the Times Magazine that really said that same stuff. And keep that going. So Ancel Keys, if you've been here long enough, you've heard his name a few times, is another key factor in really understanding fat and cholesterol and stuff like that. Ancel Keys, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, was a very influential person in this country and in the government. And back in the late 40s, when there was a huge upswing in heart disease, his theory was that it was saturated fat. Before doing the research, he sold that to the government, and we bought it hook, line, and sinker. And that theory was the basis of what we've all known our whole lives as fat is bad, fat is bad, fat is bad, go low fat, no fat. And then he did the research. So in some ways, he did really good research as far as he had two good control groups. And one was high fat and one was low fat. And he only published part of his research, and the rest of it just got recently published. And I'm going to say Ancel Keys, or whoever influenced him to not publish the rest of his research, is guilty of killing millions of people and making millions more suffer. So what has, again, everybody here can say our whole lifetime up until very recently, it's been low fat, no fat, fat is bad for your heart, fat is bad for your weight, fat is bad for unhealthy, and healthy fat, and none of that is true. And by medical standards right now, by federal standards right now, as well as the health and fitness industry, healthy fat is good, required, good for your heart, good for your weight, stuff like that. Yeah, the part of Ancel Keys' research that they ran with was that the low-fat group had a significant drop in cholesterol. And they ran with that, and that's really the basis of our no-fat, low-fat policy for up until very recently, our whole lifetimes. Anybody know what the research that they didn't publish? until very recently. The the low-fat group not only dropped their cholesterol quite a bit, but also heart disease and death skyrocketed. Why? Just like in the rest of this country, what has no-fat, low-fat done to this country as far as obesity? Skyrocketed. And it's all directly correlated too. How about what has it done to heart disease? Same thing. Skyrocketed. What has it done to cancer? Skyrocketed. Because we took those healthy fats that are necessary and replaced them with chemicals and sugars and other sweeteners. So whether his ego got in the way and he couldn't say he was wrong, or some other special interest got a hold of him, either way, again, I would say that whole thing is guilty of killing millions and making millions more suffer. To make that research even worse, do you know what they used for the high-fat group for fat? Margarine. So the whole experiment was, the experiment was flawed in that way, but then the idea that they only published half the research, and especially research that showed that heart disease and death was skyrocketing in the quote-unquote good group, the low-fat group.
For more information and upcoming events and programs, please see the email, post, or webpage attached to this video, or give Michelle a call at 863-978-8941. Thank you.